It's hard to beat a juicy, tasty dumpling, and I have to admit, I am a dumpling nerd. I've written a dumpling cookbook, run my own dumpling kitchen, and have even taught classes on how to make the perfect dumpling. Over the last 2 years, I've tried dozens of variations of dumplings across Asia, and trust me when I say, Taiwan does some of the best, from shumai to xiao. I'm Brendan Peng, and this is my tour of the best dumplings in Taipei. We'll be venturing around Taipei today, and I will be ranking dumplings. And I may even find an S-tier dumpling. Dumplings is my life. It's my energy source. But first, let's talk about what a perfect dumpling means to me. This might be controversial, but my perfect dumpling, my S-tier dumpling, is a well-seasoned and cooked, boiled or steamed dumpling. One that has the right amount of fat to meat ratio, just enough to season the dumpling and hold it all together in a chewy dumpling dough. One that doesn't necessarily need sauce. I'm starting with a local favorite, Zilin, known for their steamed dumplings. Let's see if it's worth all the hype. So this place is a little tricky to get into. It's in the basement, so from the outside, you wouldn't be able to tell where it is. I think it's in here. Woo. Oh yeah, it's in here. You can see from a distance there, they're making the dumpling. Let's go have a look.
This table, okay?
Yes, okay, thank you. So here we are at our first stop at Zilin in the center of Taipei. These guys are about 40 years old. We've ordered some classic steamed pork dumplings. They're original, as well as some pan-fried pork dumplings. How many pieces? 10 pieces. So I like to try the dumplings by itself first, and then with the sauces later on. Let's give it a try. Wow. Oh, what a great first stop. A nice chewy exterior. And then as I bite into the pork filling, it's not too dry or crumbly. And then the seasoning, a good balance of what I think is umami or savoriness from that pork. I can taste the tiniest bit of ginger, oyster sauce is coming through, a bit of soy as well. Honestly, these don't need sauces with them. I think these are great dumplings by themselves. So I will try one with a little bit of chili oil because everyone's chili oil is different. Let's see if it changes the experience at all. Let's give it a go. It's got a nice warmth or spice level to it. It's not too spicy, so you don't have the heavy like anise flavors or cinnamon flavors. Nice, a plump, juicy filling. And what I also like about this is you can see the natural color of the pork. They haven't seasoned it or added too much to it, which is exactly what you want in a dumpling. Quite true to the produce in there. Let's try the pan-fried dumplings. The pastry looks a little thinner than the last, which is what you want in a pan-fried dumpling. I've just bitten into this one and the juice has squirted everywhere. I think they've done the pastry really well. It's delicate and it's lightly crisp, but the filling, you can see it's kind of like falling out. It's not holding onto the pastry. It doesn't feel cohesive. And as I bite into it, it's kind of like breaking a little bit and splurting everywhere. Okay, let's rate these. Pan-fried dumplings, a B. The steamed dumpling, on the other hand, ticks all the boxes for me. A nice, generous, chewy pastry, a rich filling that's savory, juicy, well-seasoned, and it all feels cohesive. And eating that in one go, it's just perfect. Like, it doesn't need any sauce as well. This is a very, very good dumpling, and I'd give this an A. We've just discovered that there's a wonton place around the corner, so let's go check it out. So here we are at our next stop, Meijing Chuangwei. So you can actually see the aunties making the wontons from scratch out the back of the restaurant here. And of course, I had to film them. Let's dig in. I've ordered here the hot oil pork and prawn wontons, and then we have the pork and prawn wonton soup. So this is the first dumpling I learned how to make when I was 9 years old for my gourmet. We made Chinese-style Mauritian wontons. So I'm curious to see how these taste. Okay, so I'm gonna try the hot oil wontons first. Oh, they're kind of stuck. The pastry is glistening. It's nice, thin, and silky. Wow, okay. A bit different to what I'm used to. So I know these are more Taiwanese style wontons because you have less filling and more wrapper on the outside, as opposed to like a Hong Kong style wonton that is quite generous in terms of the filling. So I've just tossed this in the oil. I'm gonna give it another try to see if it elevates or changes the dumpling experience. So you can see there, It's glistening with that hot oil. My mouth's kind of watering looking. Let me give it a try. I see what they're doing here. It's almost like the pastry is almost like the noodle or the carb to soak up all of that sauce. And the filling is there to just kind of add a bit of extra flavor to this dish. So comparing this to what I think the perfect dumpling is, I guess it isn't a whole package in one. It is like a small starting dish. You really need the sauce there to elevate and bring the experience to life. So for that, I'd give this one a C. So let's try the wonton soup and see how this tastes. Okay, so you can see here the wontons are not sticking like the first one. They're nice and silky and juicy on the outside. The filling is coming through a little more than the first one. So the wonton sitting in the soup there has kind of cooked a little further, so the pastry is like almost melting in your mouth, and then you get to that filling. Okay, so these are pork and prawn wontons, but I actually can't really taste or see any prawn in there. For this one, I would give it a B. Okay, so we're outside. We're about to head into our third location that specializes in xiaolongbao. All right, so you can see the logo up there is a xiaolongbao, and you can also see them making it through the window. I'm just gonna peep in and have a look. So these guys have been generous enough to let me into their kitchen. I'm feeling very lucky. First, I'm gonna put this on, follow the rules of their kitchen. Let's go. Hey, ni hao.
Hello.
Wow. So you can see here the pastry is quite thin and delicate, so it's very similar to like a wonton pastry. And this is what makes it so challenging. So they've got pork, lard, shrimp, and mushrooms, all staples for a shumai. And they're weighing each one out individually. And you can see they're putting a lot of filling in there, which excites me because I'm all about a generous dumpling. So they've set up a process line too here, which I love. So one person is weighing out, putting the filling in, another person is actually folding the shumai, and another person down there is putting the topping on top, that caviar, and then they're going off to be stored and cooked fresh for the customers out there to eat. Okay, they've just passed me the paddle, so they're actually gonna let me have a go. Yeah. I'm the student, let's see how to do it. About 24? Yeah. Take a little bit out. So not right, yeah. A little bit more out. So they're very particular about the weight here. They're hitting about 24 grams per dumpling. I think I'm getting the dumpling shakes here. A little nervous. I'm slowing their process down. So how do you close it now like that? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. As long as it closes, okay. Is that like that? Good? Is it okay? Okay, let me try one. I'll try one more. Oh God, stuffed it up already. So we've made the shumai and they've quickly reset, so we're gonna make some xiaolongbao next. And you can see how quick they are at rolling out this. They are making the pastry from scratch, which is quite impressive. He's just like pumping out from little balls of dough, almost like gnocchi, into nice, thin, round pastry. Check that out, perfectly round by hand. He's like weighing out the filling again, just perfectly. So the dough looks super thin, but as they're folding the xiaolongbao, you can see they're also stretching it. It's a really good, like, handmade dough. It's not breaking, it's not ripping. Can I try one like this?
Okay.
Oh God, it's too fast. Oh God. No. You can see there's a little gap in there, so I'm not too happy with that one. I'll let them do their thing. Like, I'm respecting their process here. I think I should try them. Take a photo of this massive basket right next to my face. It's like a magic game. Where have I hidden the dumplings? So we're down here at Hangzhou Xiaolongbao in Minchen. This restaurant has a variety of different dumplings and fillings. We're gonna start with the classic today, the pork and prawn shumai. All right. Looking at these, they are very appealing. The bright golden wonton wrapper on the outside, and then that orange caviar or roe that's been cooked on top. Wow. That's really good. Okay, texture, first and foremost, is a big tick. It's firm, compact, whilst not being too bouncy or dry. Seasoning, tick, it's well balanced. Pastry, nice and thin. It's not coming over the edges. And then the fish roe on top, just to make it a bit more extravagant. They're giving you a generous amount there, which I like. So So you can see there the filling is holding quite nicely. It's not crumbling, it's not too wet or moist. The most important part here is that the pastry is hugging the filling and holding onto it quite tightly. For me, that is, I would say that's pretty close to an A. So we've also ordered a bit of a strange or unique flavor, which I've never seen before. It's a prawn and loofah xiao long bao. And yes, loofah, like the thing you scrub yourself with in the shower. And for those of you that are wondering, loofah is basically a gourd, so it's a vegetable. And it's got that texture of zucchini as it cooks down, but also has a bit of textural crunch to it. Very interesting, because very traditionally, a xiao long bao is made with pork, and the soup is actually that natural gelatin that you get from the pork that maybe that jellifies the soup. All right, let's give it a try. Wow. I don't know what I was expecting actually. Like, I think I was expecting a like meaty kind of paste or filling that holds together, but it's actually quite pleasant that you actually get chunks of the fresh loofah or vegetable through there and chunks of the prawn. Actually, when you go to eat it, it's really juicy on the inside, so it's really nice. It's quite a clean and delicate taste as well. I feel like I don't need to add any sauce or anything else to this. It's a great dumpling in itself. It's something that's very creative and inventive and non-traditional xiao long bao. I would put this under A. So we've just been to a smaller family-owned dumpling business, and we thought we'd mix it up, and for a bit of contrast, we go the other end and go to somewhere that's grown into a bigger dumpling franchise. Do you think they're talking to each other? I mean, this is like serious dumpling business, and yeah, I hope they're having fun. Wow, even perfect placements every time it goes into the basket. Might steal some secrets from here. No lying, let's do it, let's go in. Now, it would be a hunt for the best dumplings in Taipei without throwing Din Tai Fung into the mix. For those of you that don't know, Din Tai Fung started in Taiwan, but is now one of the world's most well-known dumpling chains. So I've ordered their signature spicy pork and prawn wontons. And for those of you that follow me, you'd know that wontons is quite a special one in terms of my dumpling journey. This is one of the first things that I made growing up. So I'm quite curious to see how this massive chain produces their own. You can actually see quite big chunks of prawns coming through. So I'm just gonna try one of the wontons on top to see how that tastes first. I feel like it's very separated on the inside. Like, I almost get a whole chunk of prawn and then the mince is separate to that. It doesn't feel that cohesive or silky, and the pastry is nice. It's like a classic wonton pastry. All right, let's try one with the sauce on it. Okay, that sauce has like taken this whole dumpling experience to a whole new level. Everything else is good, but the fillings just let me down slightly. We're on the hunt for the best dumplings, not the best sauce. So for that reason, I would give this a B. Next up, Din Tai Fung's signature xiao long bao, and this is what's made them famous around the world. And they actually have a card here on how to eat it. Okay, tip it, poke a small hole, let the broth come out so you don't burn your mouth. So I already knew that. Okay. Oh, juicy, so no complaints. Very soupy. We'll try it in its original form. It's very pure to that kind of like pork savory filling. Let's have our second one with some of the dipping sauce. Wow. Okay. I really like this one. I would like, this is up there. Yeah. So I think this is a really, really good xiao long bao, and I would eat it on its own, but with that ginger, vinegar, and soy, kind of just brings it to the next level. And for that reason, I'd put this under A. So the hunt for the best dumplings in Taipei ends here at Xiao Le Tian. We've ordered their classic here, boiled pork dumplings. And what I love about this place is, just looking back here, is that you kind of feel like you're in like a homely kitchen. There's garlic in the table that's not peeled yet. With this utensil, You roll the garlic clove in there to remove the skin quite easy. You can hear that crunch in there. Oh, there you go. Such an easy way. I should take this home with me. So once the garlic is peeled, what you do is crush it. So with the back of the spoon, I'm just gonna press down with soy, a little bit of vinegar, and also I'm just gonna put a dash of sesame oil, just the tiniest bit. So you can see, just looking at these dumplings, the pastry is quite thick. There you go, you can see the hand press, so it's... I love that they're screaming. I feel like I'm at home here, so I feel like I'm in for a good meal. Oh wow. They're so good. It's that kind of like homely feel to this dumpling that sets this apart to other dumplings that I've had today. I think this is my favorite today. So much flavor. You can see in there it's packed with not just pork, but also heaps of like chive and spring onion. Perfect balance. A big amount of filling as well. Quite a large portion in there for what you're getting. So I'm gonna try with a little bit of the sauce as well. Pastry on the outside feels homemade, and you can tell when you come in, I mean, they're making it right there. It's not crumbling, it's holding quite nicely. Also, that meat to fat ratio is pretty on point there. And eating it as a whole, I feel like it doesn't need anything else. It's perfect by itself. And for all of those reasons, this is my favorite dumpling of the day. It's definitely the closest thing to an S-tier dumpling for me. Here we are at the end of the day, and it's also the end of our hunt for the best dumplings in Taipei. We've tried dumplings from small vendors to large vendors, some classics, and also some out there flavors. And to be honest, going into this, I knew the dumplings would be pretty good because we're in Taipei and they know how to do it. So I wasn't sure if we'd find an S-tier dumpling today, but we did at xiao, a well-seasoned dumpling with a good meat to fat ratio, wrapped in chewy homemade dough that doesn't need sauce. Thanks for joining me today. It's been so much fun making this longer form content for you. And if you have any ideas on what you'd like to see me do next, please make sure to let me know in the comments below. Subscribe, and I'll see you next time.